Hey everyone, so today I'm going to go over how to book sales calls through your DMs. I've been getting a lot of messages from people that are having trouble getting a reply to go into a booked call. So they're sending their cold messages out, someone's saying, yes, I'm interested, and then what do we do going from there? How do we get that into a call? So I'm going to show you my framework that I use. It's kind of like a script, but I don't like calling them scripts. But it's a framework of just what exactly we need to say in order to just get that person onto a booked call with us. It's really simple. It's usually only like 2 or 3 steps, and you can get someone onto a booked call. So I'm just going to show you exactly what it is. And for me, I was able to go from 2 or 3 sales calls a week, about 10 sales calls a month, to over 200 sales calls a month for me and my clients, just using this method. And here is just 6 examples of me booking a call just this week. And as you can see, most of my calls come from Facebook. As you can see, Facebook. And so I do a lot of Facebook outbound. I only had one here that was like a Facebook inbound. And so, and most of them are closed. So using this method, most of them showed up, they were qualified. So this is like showed up, qualified, interested, and then closed. And then this one is unqualified and no show. So most of them closed, like 65% of my calls from Facebook closed, and then most of them show up, most of them are interested, most of them are qualified. So I'm going to show you exactly how I do this. So let's just get started. All right. This is what I like to call ACED. And it is always be human and act normal. So I act like I'm 21 years old because I am 21. I don't try to look professional. So a lot of people, especially when you're getting started, you think of marketing as like trying to be brand worthy or trying to look professional. And it's just weird because no one truly acts that way, you know? So it's like no one uses, you know how people like talk in emails like, let me know this coming Saturday if you are interested in this thing. Thank you, Carson Fox, right? No one talks like that. It's just the formality that we've created. And so when it comes to emails or anything that I do, I always just try to act as human as I possibly can. And I use it to think as if I'm talking to a friend, okay? So how would I talk to a friend? That's exactly how I want to talk to this person. So I don't want to, I say LOL, I say cool. I spell things wrong on purpose. I use you, are, your, in that way. Just things like that. So just always be human. This is not necessarily an important part of the framework. Like you might not book more calls because you're more human, but it helps, okay? Control the conversation. So a lot of times whenever you're saying something to them, you want to be asking a question to where they can just respond to it. They don't need to be carrying the conversation. You need to always be carrying the conversation. So you say, this is my offer. Are you interested? They say, yes, I'm interested. Okay, great. This is how it works. And we'll go into the messages that you'll send. But then you want to ask a question, like a qualifying question. They say, here's my qualification. Okay, great. What about this qualifying question? Here's my qualification. Okay, great. Are you free for a call? Something like that. So you always kind of want to be in control of the conversation in that regard. So next is every combo is different and scripts don't work. So I call it a framework because now I do a lot of copy and pasting. Like sometimes I'll send the exact same message to multiple people like every single day. But most conversations, they kind of pan out in a different way. So you want to keep that in mind that most of these conversations are just, they're going to be different. Okay, so you don't want to just don't think of it as, because the reason people use scripts, they're like, okay, this is going to happen, then that's going to happen, then that's going to happen. And then if someone does something outside of the script, then, oh no, like, what do I do now? I was sticking to the script. And so you have to be a free thinker here. So anyways, don't feed into negativity is the last one. And by that, I mean, some people will just cuss you out or just, when you're doing outbound, you'll just get a lot of weird negativity, people that are just having a rough day. And you don't really need to feed into it. You don't need to let it affect you. I just want to make that clear because sometimes I would feed into it. Not that I would like feel bad because someone cussed me out, because obviously they're just taking blind shots. But sometimes I would feed into it in a way where I would also say a joke back, or I would say a mean comment back to them. Not like the worst it would be like, yes, ma'am, and it would be a dude, and they would just get even more mad. Which I use that as in a way of like, hey, it's just me being human. But honestly, it's just not worth your time. It's not worth their time. So there's no reason to even leave it, keep it going. So if they're being negative, there's no, we're just trying to be positive out here. So anyways, what do we do after the first response? So I'm not going to get much into the actual message that you're sending out, because I have separate videos on that, and each message for each channel is kind of different. So if you want to watch those videos, they'll be somewhere. I'll try to put them in the link in the description. But also, I've got a course on how I do all this stuff, and I'll put it in the link in the description. So if you want to know how to book 40 sales calls a month on autopilot, link will be in the description. It's free. So anyways, what do you do in the first response? After we send our initial message, right, which you should have watched those videos on how to craft your offer, and depending on the channel that you're on, someone will say, yes, I'm interested. Okay, so what do we do from here? Well, we will get usually one of three responses. Whenever someone responds to our initial message, it's usually one of these three. No, who are you? And then sure, okay? Something along those lines. So how do we respond to each of these? So if someone says no, if they're saying no within the first message, we just usually don't engage whatsoever. I'll give you some strategies a little later on what to do if people are saying that they're not interested. But as of right now, there's just no reason to keep it going. Either they're saying no, or they're saying screw you, I don't want to talk to you. So we don't want to respond to that in any ways. So we just need to move on. Okay, so if it's no, it's a no. And then who are you? So in this case, we're always usually going to say something like, this is who I am, this is my company, and then this is what we do. So that's kind of the response when they ask who are you, or who's your company, or what do you do. And then if they say sure, when they say who are you and sure, we usually say about the same message. The only difference is that when they're saying who are you, you just kind of explain who you are, and then you go into this next phase. So sure, so you just explain what you do, and then you ask for qualifying questions. So if I say, hey, I can help you get more power washing jobs. Actually, I'll show you an example. Here we go. Hey, I just want to see if you're interested in getting 10 new power washing jobs this month. They say, sure. Okay, great. I help power washing companies get consistent deals through direct mail. We target the affluent neighborhoods in your city, and we always get so you're always getting the highest quality of paying leads. Sorry. Where are you located? So if I go back here, we're explaining what we do, and then we're asking the qualifying question. So you're just kind of going a little more detail about what you do. In the initial message is kind of just the end result. Do you want 10 new leads? And then the second message is just a little more in detail of the method that you're using, or whatever you're offering. And so then we're always going to be in control of the conversation, and the way that we do that is just by asking a question at the end. So where are you located? And so then the second response, what do we say then? So usually the second response is one of three things. It is either I'm not interested, what's the price, or an answer to your question. So what do we do in these occasions? We have I'm not interested. So you either just don't reply, or you can say all good, I just saw your blank and I thought this, or I just looked at your website and I saw this. You can go into trying to turn that no into a yes, because they did say that they were interested at first, right? So they said, yes, I'm interested, and then you say your spiel, and they say, no, I'm not interested. And so they're probably still interested. They just might not be. The people's default is no, So you can turn that no into a yes, and it feels great when you turn a no into a yes, because you say, hey, I just saw your website, and I noticed there's all these problems with the website, so I wanted to see if you're interested in this, because you're missing out on a lot of sales. I noticed you're getting this much traffic, and these are the problems with your website, whatever it is. So if you're selling funnels, that could be one thing that you're doing. Or, you can notice a problem about what their current system is, and you can say, I thought you could do this. So we can turn that no into a yes right there. But for the most part, I just don't reply. So if they're not interested, no need to waste our time. And then the next one is, what's the price? Now, whenever someone asks the price, I usually give it to them. Now, my methods don't have to be gospel for you. I have plenty of people telling me that you never want to say the price. You always want to wait until the very last minute of the sales call, and then you say the price, and then they just say yes or no, and then if they say no, we handle the objections, whatever. I don't really do that, because what if they don't have a budget? I did all this work to get them onto a call. I did an hours long worth of call, and then at the very end I say the price is this, and then they say I don't have the money. Great. Well, I could have just told you the price in the DMs. If you could afford it or not, you would have told me, and we could have gone from there. It's would have made things a lot easier for me. And I have enough volume now to where I don't really care about, getting as many people onto the phone as possible to build more rapport. I don't really care about that. So what I do is I say the price, I say the end result that they're going to get with some of the benefits, and then I say the guarantee. So, hey, it's going to cost $3,000 to build out this website for you. What you're going to get is a high quality website that with 7 different psychological triggers that get people to actually, book your power washing service. And, with that, I guarantee that you're going to have at least a 10% increase in your conversions on your website. And so that is what I would say if someone asks for the price, and then you say, are you free for a call this week? Okay, and that's it. Then the other option is they answer your question. So if they answer the question like, okay, where are you located? And they say, I'm located in the Columbus market. Well, all you got to do is either ask more qualifying questions, or if you're already done asking your qualifying questions, so let's say you had one qualifying question, or you had five. If you had 5 qualifying questions, they answer that one, then you ask another one. They answer that one, you ask another one, and you just keep asking your qualifying questions. Once they've answered all your questions, you can give advice and then ask for the call. And we want to make this as easy as possible for them. So when we ask for something, we want to make it a small ask. It was funny, I was listening to a podcast the other day about Adam and Eve in the garden, and the serpent was making it to where he made it very subtle. Like, you don't have to eat the apple. What if you just touched it? Like, is that so bad just to touch it? And obviously we're not trying to manipulate people. We're not trying to make people eat the apple. But it is funny how the serpent, right, the devil, is so good at these sales tactics. So we kind of just make it as small as possible for them to say yes to that thing. So usually it's like, are you free to chat this week? Or are you interested? Whatever. So usually my initial message is are you interested? Because I'm not asking for a call. I'm not asking for the sale. I'm just saying, trying to make it as small as possible. Just say, are you interested? So anyways, we give advice and then we ask for the call. So usually in this, actually I'll show you an example. I have an example up here. So we were going back and forth with this guy, Sammy, really cool dude. And he was talking about, he wants to target record labels and he gets like the best deals out of those. So I said, so record labels is a big one for you. I think LinkedIn, SMS, and email would work for that for targeting that audience. You'll get a lot of conversations going. Yeah. And then boom, I sent the booking link. So that is an example, and he did book for this week. Where are we at? Second responses, boom. All right. So we can give some advice about what we think. So let's just say we're doing power washing, and we're doing direct mail for power washers. And I said, okay, great. You're in the Dayton market. What you could do is you can target Kettering and Centerville. Those are the most affluent neighborhoods in your city. There's about 20,000 homes in that area. And of those 20,000, we should be able to get a 10% response rate or a call rate. And out of those 10%, maybe 50 of them book a power washing job with you. And, are you free for a call this week to chat about that? That's an amazing thing because you have a game plan for me, right? You just told me the game plan, which is, and obviously you made it broad enough to where I don't really know all the nitty-gritty details, but I know that you have a plan for actually getting these people on the phone with me in terms of the power washing gig, right? So that is really powerful, all right? Now we have other scenarios that happen here. And the other scenarios are someone asking for testimonials. If someone asks for testimonials, just send them the testimonials. And the more that you send, the merrier. Now, if you don't have testimonials, I would sort of fake it till you make it. You can say, yeah, I've got one client that does this. Now, you never want to lie, right? Don't lie. But let's say you're using a white label to fulfill on your clients. Then you can just say, look, this my partner was able to get this, that, and that, and the other. And you can just send the white labels, testimonials, whatever you need to do. But it's kind of rare that I get people asking for the testimonials, but sometimes they do. And when you do, you just want to send as many as you can, right? So usually I'll send like 6 testimonials. I was listening to Dan Kennedy the other day, and he said, if you have 500 testimonials, you want to put them somewhere and show all 500 testimonials. You don't just want to put 20, right? Or the top 20, just put all 500 because it looks a lot better if you have 500. Sam Mubbins used to do a thing where he had 2,000 video testimonials, I think something like that, or 1,000 video testimonials. And the reason he had 1,000 video testimonials is because he basically told all the people that were in one group, like people that purchased his program, if you give me a video testimonial, I'll give you this other program for free. And so they all made testimonials, and then he had this huge amount of social proof of 2,000 or 1,000 video testimonials. So use your testimonials to your advantage, and you can put them somewhere. Obviously, you don't want to send someone 1,000 testimonials, but you can put them on a web page, right? A sales page. Some people just want a website of like, hey, do you have a website? A lot of times I get that. If you're doing this, you always want to make it congruent with whatever the offer is that you sent out. So if you ever ran a pay-per-click campaign on Google, usually the rule of thumb is, or what people teach, is that you want to, say an offer in the ad. So let's just say the ad is 40 power washing jobs per month. Okay, that is the, if I look at power washing leads, and that is the first thing that pops up, 40 power washing jobs per month. And I click on it, and then it says, how to pet a baby kitten, it's something completely different other than the offer that you just said, then a lot of people are going to bounce off the website because there was these incongruencies, right? So you said one thing and then you displayed another. So if you have a website, or if someone says, do you have a website? And you send them the link, it needs to be very similar to whatever you said in the initial message. So if it was, I can get you 40 power washing jobs this month, then the website needs to say, I can get you 40 power washing jobs this month, with a video explanation, video of what you do, and then a booking link, and then maybe some testimonials of like, hey, this person was able to get 40 power washing jobs per month, right? Just congruency, right? So I want it to be the same as whatever I said in the initial message. We want it to be congruent in that way. So also, we don't want to send a basic homepage. We just want to send like, if you go to any random website that has a homepage, it's just like you have all the bars at the top of like pricing and contact us and all this stuff. You don't want to send that. You want to send the sales page of, hey, this is what, basically like a funnel, and have congruency in the title, all that stuff, right? And then also, I like to use dynamic landing pages. So I don't know, I haven't tested extensively whether or not just asking them what time they're available versus just sending the link, what works best. As you can see here, I kind of said, are you free to chat early this week or early next week? And I just send a link. Some people just don't send a link. Some people just ask in the chat. I send a link and I send a dynamic landing page. And a dynamic landing page is something that looks like this. Hey, Sammy, can you click here to book? And then it says, Sammy, book here. And then the link actually has his name in it, Sammy right there. And then when I click it, it's going to make me do this. When I click that, or not. Click that. And as you can see, the link also has his name. So now this is what I use. Now, I haven't studied this extensively. What I have heard, though, is that these links give you a twice as much click-through rate. So they apparently work. They have worked pretty well for me. Again, I haven't tested it. I haven't sent just a random link versus this link, but I'm pretty sure they work a little better because it looks a lot cooler if my name is in the link. So I like to use dynamic landing pages. This one is called UClick. It is $40 on AppSumo. It's a pretty good deal. There's a whole bunch of other ones that you can use. They're pretty cheap, but I pay for this $40 one time, and I get like 6,000 credits per month. I use like 100. So anyways, that is that. It's pretty cool, and I would recommend using that. So you can you can test it yourself either way. You can just say, hey, are you free for a call this week? And then they give you time. The problem with it for me is that I usually am booked out a couple days, the first couple days of the week are usually already booked out. So I don't want to just, if I say, are you free early this week? And they say, yeah, I'm free Monday at 10 a.m. And I'm like, well, I'm already booked Monday at 10 a.m. So that doesn't work for me. So usually I just like to send, are you free, with the link so that they can just click and schedule themselves. Now there is a thing called, we want to make it as easy as possible for them to say yes. And so, the problem with sending a link is that they have to click the link and they have to do all this stuff. But honestly, I'm to a point where it doesn't matter. Like if someone doesn't book, they don't book. And I have plenty of other people that are booking. So, and for the most part, if I've gotten this far in the conversation, usually they're booking. I usually don't have a problem with people booking a call if they're willing to hold a conversation with me, right? So if they're willing to say yes to the initial message, obviously they're interested. And that's what's great about this method rather than building rapport, because building rapport just means we're going back and forth trying to have a conversation and they're really not even saying yes to my offer. They're just trying to be nice to me, Anyways, that's it. Let's book some calls. I spelled some here wrong because why not? That was a mistake on my part, actually. So anyways, hopefully this helped you. I've just been getting a lot of requests of people, they want to turn a positive reply into a booked call. So I'm going to go over it one more time. You send your initial message. They respond positively. You say, okay, great. This is how it works. This is what we do. Qualifying question. They answer the qualifying question. Okay, great. Here's some advice. Are you free for a call? And that's it. It's really that simple. Really, it takes only 3 messages from you to get to a booked call. Sometimes it takes even less. Some people will just say, yes, I'm interested. Okay, great. Here's your link. And that's it. So thank you so much for watching. If you're interested in the free course, it is in the link in the description below. I love you, and I'll see you in the next one.